let's get underway. We'll start over here with the lemon trees. Well, rather the cutie orange tree and a lemon tree, and then a secondary lemon tree. Ow. It's got these little tiny spikes on that one. You see right there? See that little guy? Deceptive. If I see flowers on either one of these, telling you, man, the second I see a flower on either one of these, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. I'm gonna make a short, and it's gonna just be me screaming. 230-watt panels. They're holding strong over here. If you don't believe me, just yeah. See, look, that's sun bleached. This has been outside, just doing its thing. Water resistant. It's been running the pump pretty much since 1 p.m. So for 5 hours, it's at 13 volts. That's pretty impressive for 30 watts of solar running 5 hours. And that, ooh, blue. That's not bad. I need to get a 100-watt panel, and then that should be great. We put up some lights here, so I'm going to be dodging that. You cannot see them on camera at all. It's Invisalign, but I can see it barely. We're gonna start. Actually, let's start on this corner, work our way around. This wheelbarrow used to be over there, but the awning is a little bit wonky there, so I had to move it away. It was getting flooded. We have this guy who has seen better days, but is actually kind of crazy, because if you see everything from right about here all the way up, and you know, I topped them, you know, but this is 1 year. This is 1 year right here. That is a hefty 1 year. It is putting off flowers, but you know, I think, is that a little buds there and stuff, but this one, I don't know why, but whenever the drought was happening, this one was like, really did not like that. And then it had some mites up in the top here. However, when the rain started up about a month or so ago, when it actually started raining again, raining like once a month is like some amazing kind of rain, all the mites disappeared. So, but you know, whatever kind of pepper that is, I don't even know. I think it's a hatch. I think it's a hatch chili. But you know, he's doing all right. Oh, wait till once it gets under about 50 degrees, then I will be able to just dock this guy back, take him all the way back, and then transplant him somewhere in there or into another plot. Basically just take everything out of here. This was a jalapeno that I cloned over. This is a banana pepper. These two, same thing, you know, they have the same problem. This pepper is a little wonky looking. That's not soft, but yeah, I don't know. The pest, disease, something. And then the basil, which is just fantastic. I mean, just to show that it's not the soil. You know, look at this wonderful looking basil, and then decrepit looking, but yet same container. You know. So, the chances are that these are also clones, and as I've cloned most of my bell pepper plants, I started the seeds, but as soon as you can start taking clones, then why bother starting seeds? Hatch chili, once again, disease, pest. You can tell we got some good peppers off of it. Once it drops below 50, once again, all these peppers, you can start trimming all this stuff off of them. There's no reason to really do it right now because we're going into winter. It's going to prune itself, essentially. Then I can just go back and take whatever it doesn't want anymore. This pepper was not doing so hot. In fact, all 3 of these were not doing so hot. They were in a tiny container, and I kind of forgot about them for a while. So they were all root bound, and they were starting to really, they were all in porcelain. And in Texas, I'm trying to get away from porcelain. This is styrofoam, and it works out a lot better for holding water. And just, porcelain is great. I love porcelain, but it's so hot in Texas that these just dry out with the plant taking up water and then porcelain evaporating it through the sides. You have to water them every day, and they still dry out. So I'm sadly moving away from porcelain, but you know, when you got pots, you use them. Also, porcelain breaks. That sucks. Whereas that styrofoam thing, well, it'll also break, but it's just not as, like, you know, fragile. Like, you tap that porcelain wrong, thing splits in half. You can take a chunk out of that styrofoam, but it's not going to split in half. So obviously none of this grew great. I'm lying. We got shishitos. Now, this batch of shishitos, I have no idea, to be honest. I haven't checked on them that often. They don't really seem like they're getting that big, but there's so much in this container right now with all this foliage, and they shot off, like, at least, I mean, we're talking about 30 to 40 flowers each. So they're growing like somewhere between 60 and 70 shishitos probably on this plant. I don't expect these to actually be any kind of decent size, right? But we'll let them go. We'll let them cook. You know, let them cook. See what happens. Asparagus doing fantastic. We sampled it the other day. It tastes amazing. It's crazy just how fast this stuff grows. Like, that shoot probably wasn't even there 3 days ago. Whenever it sends up a new shoot, it rips. I'm gonna have to take it out of this container though, because the asparagus has a huge root system, and that's not gonna be good for this. It's okay for starting in this, but it's not gonna be great long term. So much like the peppers, when winter comes and it starts dipping below 50, the asparagus will start dying back, and all the stuff topside will die, but the root system will be intact. So I'll just basically lop it off at the top, and then at spring, in February, you know, for me, lucky go me, we got like a month. December to January is like our winter. That's it. Anyway, in spring, I'll plant these into another hugelkultur mound that I'm gonna build kind of up here in between these trees. We have the square here, so I'm gonna do a circle. I think right there would look pretty nice. Not a big one, just enough, you know, nothing this size, but maybe like, you know, that much of one just right there. And then that'll have asparagus, and then I could do basil or some other kind of herb, or there'll be something. This is zucchini. It survived. Sending out male flowers. I think it's just male flowers so far. We're lucky in Texas. We can plant zucchini and grow it in the fall before it freezes, because it's still another month or so before freezing. And it's raining. This stuff is like, it's falling from the sky. It's amazing. It's crazy how much you miss water. This jalapeno plant, I already docked back. I was very aggressive pruning it. But all over it are little tiny leaves popping up all over it. This guy, he had an issue with one of these stems down here, and he had gotten leaned over. So when I pulled him, he was in this container, this big square, and basically it slouched over to, you know, it started up straight and it's kind of leaned over and then rested against the side here. So when I pulled him up from there, brought him over here, I tried to get him kind of upright again, but he wasn't doing so hot because he was completely root bound in this container, which blew my mind. I dumped this out and it was just a giant mass of roots on the bottom of here, and Suffice to say, I did a really good job of ripping them off the plant. So this guy's got a little bit to come back. But, you know, this jalapeno plant is over 4 years old. Will be over 4 this next, you know, next summer. See that right there? That's a little node popping out. That'll be a new branch. And just rip them up out of the ground. They keep growing. Rosemary. Yep, smells like rosemary. Peppers in there. Pepper. I spaced them out about a foot apart, give or take. I mean, there's nothing science here. There's no science here. We have Swiss chard. I transplanted this last week, and it completely flopped over. But you can see the leaves up here just got completely burned. It was underneath the oak tree. Everything has basically been under the oak tree for like the last 6 months. And so when I brought them out and I transplanted them here, they immediately got burned because they were so used to the shade. But they're sending up new leaves. New leaves are looking really good. And they're standing back up. They had just laid over instantly, and now they're coming around. Now we got these pepper plants. Once again, you know, it's all in new leaf territory. These guys were doing really, really ragged during that drought. That drought was really, really hurting my pepper plants. This is a habanero. I mean, even you can just tell he got completely annihilated. But putting off new growth, kind of, you know, adapting to the new situation here. It's the first time they've ever gotten roots like in actual ground. You know, no more container life. They can go as far as they want. This guy coming back nicely. You can kind of see the difference between the old growth and the newer growth. It's a lot denser is what I'm noticing. You know, see all these leaves are kind of spaced out and wonky, but if you look over here, and you have all the older leaves and they're kind of spaced out, but that new growth is just clustered. So hopefully it develops nicely. If I have to amend with more calcium, that's entirely possible. We have eggshells for days. I know peppers need a lot of calcium. Another banana pepper. Can't remember what this guy is. But throwing off, you know, he's happy. This is a jalapeno. And then I got the Malabar spinach here. This was a big vine. I had it trellising up the side of this, but I ended up taking it down. And I just kind of draped it over this. So hopefully this will start taking off. You'll see it's sending out runners. And this is what I want to basically carpet everything here. This is Malabar spinach. So all of this is just spinach. It's just spinach. I mean, it's kind of like slimy spinach, but it's just spinach. I swear to God, it's just spinach. The younger leaves, okay? These guys, right? See how it's, well, this one actually has some chlorosis, but no, this is not talking about it. See, younger, you could take this one, I'll just take that one too, right? Whereas this guy, okay, you're gonna have some problems with this guy. Now you could cut this guy up. You can cut him up. Let's see if I can get this here. You see that right there? You see that? Yeah. So they're extremely, extremely heat tolerant. But that's pretty much because they're like a succulent, right? Whereas on the younger leaves, focus. It's a little bit there. It looks so bad on camera. My whole point is that these are amazing. It tastes like spinach. It's crunchy. And if you can get over that little bit, that, you know, it tastes just like spinach. It's just as healthy as spinach. It's delicious. Oh, slammy. Oh, God. I would recommend cooking it. Definitely recommend cooking it. But this is emergency greenery. If you ever need a plant and you're like, oh God, I have a garden and I grow all these peppers and I grow all this fruit, but I never have any vegetables to grow, this is the one plant that will save you. If you grow this plant, you will always have a leafy green. You can chop it up, add it to a salad. You can kind of soak. You do the okra tricks, right? Where you try to use it, use it like okra. You can make it less slimy. But at least you would never run out of green when you have Malabar spinach. And speaking of fruits and fun things, got a couple pineapples here, and they seem to be doing just fine. I'm hoping that one day I'll come out here and see some what are called pups along the sides here. It'll start sending up new plants. I don't know what this is. It is not a pup. That is a weed. I plan on getting, I mean, as they go, right? I have 2 at the moment. I got these from a organic pineapple that you just chop the top off, and I planted them, and they've been growing here they were the first things I put in this hugelkultur mound, and they've probably been here 3 months, I think, give or take. And so, they'll send off 1 pineapple a year. I'm pretty sure they won't send one off this year, but maybe next spring. Assuming we don't get a crazy ice storm. Now the only thing left to do is dump another 200 square feet of dirt on top of this until all the sticks start showing, and it'll be a perfect garden bed. I have like some dirt here, lots of bare sticks, but that's because I ran out of the logs. I was using the logs to kind of section off the different plants, right over here, throwing logs in there, log there, and that way I was just basically clearing a spot, taking the container. Easy. The problem is when you run out of logs, I can't really, like, if I start piling up dirt somewhere here, it's not really going anywhere. It's just kind of like seeping down. So I need to get a log. I think one right here would be good. And then I don't even want to mess with that. Just come over here, get a log there, and then I could do a log there and then fill that up with dirt. Maybe log there, get something there, and then come back here and then there, and then just keep going till you don't see the sticks no more. All of these are going in here. The theme of this bed, by the way, was peppers. This is just peppers. This whole bed is just for the peppers. This is the entire peppers. It'll be here this year. Not, got to go around to one of the 17 trees, It'll be here next year. And every year after this thing should start producing better. A hugelkultur mound does have to be flipped intermittently, like, I'm going to say every other year or so. You don't have to, but it should, just kind of stir things up. So 3 years from now, I'll worry about dealing with this. But by then, the logs should be breaking down. We'll probably have some new logs we could put around the sides, and you just move those to the bottom of the next stack and, rebuild it. Better, faster, stronger. These, well, at least I didn't plant these. My mom says they're called 4 o'clocks. They just, big old bush of them. It's a pretty flower. They come in white and we have red. That's the white plant. This is the red one. I don't know how this moves. I guess there's a white plant over here somewhere. Or maybe they're just different colored for different reasons. I don't know. Oh, I guess they have both. Because over here we have this guy. That has both. So yeah. This is a fun little plant. It gets way too big. All the plants that grow up here, got all these saplings and stuff. This whole strip is just nothing but saplings that have been cut down. They grow back up and you cut them down and you try to dig them up, but those roots are so damn deep that it just sends up another one. So we started tiling it, and that's very effective. Just to let y'all know, that is very effective. Totally effective. Got the pothos. I moved him aside. The pothos was running along here, and I moved him because I'd relocated this grow bed because this died. Also, yes, I'm not cheating. This doesn't run to the pump. This line goes to this clicker. That clicker goes to a light. It's just a grow light. It's just a grow light. I swear to God. I'm just out here because I wanted some RGB lighting for Halloween. I was testing. You can see we have fish are doing fine. This guy right here, he did not start in this tank. He was born in this tank, which is awesome. I am so happy because he is a pretty looking fish, man. So the main problem with this tank is that I have a guppy explosion happening right now, and there are just way too many guppies in this tank. I mean, the goldfish are already, they're already like enough for this tank. There's 5 of them in there now, 5 including that guy. Now, I don't know how many other babies there are. There could be baby goldfish in here that I can't see because they're like the bronze dude. And if I can barely see this dude, then I really won't be able to see bronze babies. So there could be upwards of 5, at least 5 goldfish in this pond. And it is only 110 gallons. And I'm pretty sure that one's a koi hybrid. So I need to figure out a better solution for the guppies here. Mainly, I have 2 options. I can cull them myself, or I could introduce a predator. Predators sound a lot more fun. I could also start another tank, because 7 tanks isn't enough. I need an 8th tank. And I could just put bluegill in it, and I could feed the guppies to the bluegill. That would work. But that would involve buying another tank. Whereas I would also just love to throw an axolotl in here. They're native to Texas. I think it'd be a great idea. It shouldn't fight with the kois or anything, or the goldfish. I think it'll snack on all the shrimp, or no, the shrimps. There might be some shrimp in here. There were ghost shrimp, but I doubt they survived. But it would snack on all the baby guppies. And yeah, just got to figure that out.